Have you ever wondered if you change all the parts of a thing, is it still the same thing? An intriguing query to ponder, isn't it? It's a question that circles around the concepts of identity and change, two aspects that are intertwined in the fabric of existence. Consider your favorite mug. You use it every day, but one day it chips. You patch it up, but then it cracks. You fix it again. At what point after all the mending and fixing does it cease to be your favorite mug? Change is as constant as the northern star. Yet amidst all these changes, we hold on to the essence of things, the identity. But what happens when every single part of a thing changes? Does the essence remain the same? Let's delve into a fascinating thought experiment that explores this very question, known as the Ship of Theseus. Imagine a ship, the ship of the legendary Greek hero Theseus. Now, this isn't any ordinary ship, mind you. This ancient vessel, laden with the weight of countless adventures and battles, was preserved by the Athenians as a tribute to their beloved hero. Picture the scene. The ship sits in the heart of Athens, a symbol of their pride and glory. But like all things, time takes its toll. The wooden planks, once strong and sturdy, begin to rot. They decay, losing their strength and their luster until they're mere shadows of their former selves. But the Athenians, they couldn't stand to see their cherished symbol decay. So they started replacing the old decaying planks with new ones, bit by bit. Now hold on a minute. This is where things start to get a little tricky. You see, after a while, all the original planks, the ones that bore the weight of Theseus and his crew, the ones that weathered storms and battles, were replaced. Every single one. The ship was still there in the same spot, looking pretty much the same. But was it though? Was it really the same ship? This is the crux of our tale. That ship sitting in Athens, looking as grand as ever, was it still the Ship of Theseus? Or was it something else entirely? A replica, perhaps? Or maybe a new ship altogether, with the old one merely a memory? This seemingly simple question brings us face to face with a profound issue. The issue of identity. When all that we are, all that we've been, is replaced, are we still the same? Or do we become something new, something different? So after replacing all its parts, do we still call it the Ship of Theseus? This simple story presents us with a profound philosophical puzzle. The tale of Theseus's ship forces us to question our understanding of identity and change. If we gradually replace each part of an object, at what point, if any, does it cease to be the original? This is a conundrum that has been keeping philosophers awake at night for centuries. Ponder this for a moment. Imagine your car. Over time, you replace the tires, the engine, the paint job, and even the upholstery. Can we still say it's the same car you drove off the lot all those years ago? You may argue that it's the same car because it's part of your story, your experiences. But isn't it fundamentally different, piece by piece? Let's add another layer to this. Our bodies are in a constant state of flux, with cells dying and new ones being born. In about 7 years, it's said that virtually every cell in your body will have been replaced. So, are you still the same person you were 7 years ago? In terms of matter, you're entirely different. But we don't generally have existential crises every 7 years. We hold a continuous sense of self, a thread of consciousness that weaves through our lives, stitching together our past, present, and future selves. But isn't that fascinating? The Ship of Theseus paradox opens this can of worms, challenging our notions about what makes something or someone essentially themselves. It's a philosophical dilemma that doesn't just apply to ancient ships, but to cars, houses, and yes, even us humans. In essence, it's like having a cup of coffee that's constantly being refilled. Is it still your morning coffee if it's been refilled all day? It's a question that's as old as philosophy itself, and one that continues to provoke thought and debate. And perhaps that's the beauty of it. It's a reminder that sometimes the value is not in finding the answer, but in the journey of questioning and exploration. You might be thinking, why does this ancient Greek thought experiment matter to me? Well, let's bring the Ship of Theseus into the 21st century. Consider the historical monuments that grace our cities. When we replace the worn-out stones, do we still have the same monument? Or has it become a replica, a shadow of its former self? You might argue that it's still the same, as it holds the same historical significance. But then again, if you replace all ingredients in your grandmother's secret recipe, can you still claim it's her legendary dish? Moving on to a more personal level, imagine you're in need of an organ transplant. As medical technology advances, we're seeing more artificial organs. So if you replace your heart with an artificial one, are you still you? Or are you now part cyborg? Don't worry, we're not heading into sci-fi territory just yet. But it certainly gives a new meaning to wearing your heart on your sleeve, doesn't it? And let's not forget our beloved smartphones. With every software update, are we still using the same device? Or has it transformed into something new, something different? Sure, it might look the same, but with new features and capabilities, it's not quite the old phone we knew. It's like your childhood teddy bear. Sure, it's been restuffed and sewn up a few times, but it's still your teddy, right? The Ship of Theseus isn't just a dusty old paradox from ancient Greece. It's a question that pops up in our everyday lives, challenging our notions of identity and change. It's a reminder that nothing stays the same forever, even if it seems to on the surface. After all, if we replace all politicians with new ones, do we still have the same government? So, what's the takeaway from all this? We embarked on a journey exploring the enigma of identity and change. We pondered upon the notion of existence and its evolution over time. The tale of Theseus and his ship, a symbol of victory, served as our guide. The ship gradually had all its parts replaced, spurring a philosophical riddle. Did it remain the Ship of Theseus, or did it become something else? This question led us to the heart of the matter, the philosophical conundrum. We dissected how this ancient paradox challenges our idea of identity. It compels us to question if identity is tied to physicality, or is it something more abstract? We anchored our discourse in today's world, drawing parallels to building restorations and cell regeneration. The Ship of Theseus is an enduring question rippling through our modern lives. It stirs our consciousness, encouraging exploration and doubt. In the end, it's not about finding a definitive answer, but rather about asking the right questions. After all, a ship is just a ship, but it's the journey that makes it Theseus's.